Serious, what would the world be like if Hitler was never stopped? Asterisk asterisk attention. Serious. Tag notice asterisk asterisk. Asterisk jokes, puns, and off-topic comments are not permitted in asterisk any asterisk comment. Parent or child. Asterisk parent comments that aren't from the target group will be removed, along with their child replies. Asterisk report comments that violate these rules. Posts that have few relevant answers within the first hour, and posts that are not appropriate for the serious tag will be removed. Consider doing an AMA request instead. Thanks for your cooperation and enjoy the discussion. Asterisk I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message compose to =r AskReddit if you have any questions or concerns. Asterisk. A show called The Man in High Castle shows their version of events. America gets split between the Japs and Nazis, as does the rest of the world. Yeah, I thought it was interesting how they handled that. Germany, of course, would have ran out of materials after a while, so the only option they would have had would be to invade the US or Russia to take more resources. Of course, we know how their invasion of Russia ended, so the only other option is the US. That show has so many historical plot holes. It's embarrassing. Still watch the shit out of it, though. Greater than Japs. In show the occupied Americans call them pawns. I think to avoid using this particular usage, there's an entire game franchise that entertains this idea. It's called Wolfenstein. It's pretty good, but yeah, maybe a bit too sci-fi-ish. Assumes a lot. If the US and Russia didn't stop him, he would have eventually run out of men and oil. By the end of the war, as the Allies approached Berlin, they found children working mortars. But one of Germany's goals was to seize Middle Eastern oil fields. The invasion of North Africa in 1942 was, in part, to stop that. Had there been no Allied invasion, Germany might have controlled Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, etc., and Allied operations in Africa and Sicily. Italy killed, wounded or captured hundreds of thousands of German troops. Edit. Axis losses in North Africa and Sicily, Italy were more than 1 million men. Plus Italy switched sides, taking its armed forces with it. So if there wasn't an Allied intervention, the Axis might have had limitless oil and something like 3.5 million more men. Depends on what you mean by that. No one in the military leadership managed to stop him. So Hitler countless of times contributed to his own military defeat. This post would probably be written in German. Neen. This post wouldn't exist. Asterisk. Blonde and blue-eyed bulky guys everywhere. Just to be clear, we didn't support him. The man mainly responsible for stopping Hitler was himself. Had he not insisted on Barbarossa without first settling matters on the Western Front and not compounded the error by failing to distance himself from Japan after Pearl Harbor, it is entirely likely that he could have had a successful military campaign. He should have paused in 41 to consolidate logistically, specifically in North Africa and the Middle East, taking the tempo and temperature out of the Western Front. Once the Battle of Britain was lost, his best probable outcome was a ceasefire in the West. In the lull, Germany would have been able to secure more robust supplies, predominantly oil, and continue to widen the technological gap, without the pressure of war on two fronts and knee-jerk diversions of resources. Again, a Hitler habit. Some of the more outlandish prototype aircraft discovered on the march to Berlin may have reached maturity earlier. A stable and robust Germany, possessing the America bomber missile technology far in advance of anyone else and, more than likely, first to the bomb, could then dictate its own terms on the world stage. Truly chilling if you're one of the many, not just Jews, types of people they took a murderous dislike to. Weird to say it, but thank the Lord for Hitler, because without his self-destructive misjudgments they might have actually pulled it off. Der Neue Ordnung plan was basic either division of the world. 1. Europe. A. East. Germanist. Stalingrad would be renamed into Hindenburg. Leningrad into Ludendorff. The citizens of the Soviet Union enslaved and later on killed. Each day replaced by more and more German citizens. The land becomes core of the Greater Germanic Reich. B. Middle. Aside the core states, the rest will be turned into SS states, all of them being controlled by high-ranking SS officers. Berlin would be renamed to Germania. Swiss annexed more peacefully than others. Not sure what Hungary, but Slovakia wouldn't be theirs, since Himmler planned Germanization of Slovakia and to make it SS state. Denmark annexed. Poland annexed and Germanist. Baltic, you guessed it, Germanist and annexed. C. South. If Spain would have joined, they would be given Portugal and be allowed to join Axis. Thought they'll lose their colonies. Italy might be annexed, but more probable is them later on owning the Balkans. If Spain wouldn't join them, it would become Italian territory. D. West and North. SS states everywhere. France, Normandy, Burgundy, you name it. Benelux annexed. Only French wouldn't be accepted. Ireland, mostly given to Britain. Plans weren't sealed. Britain declared autonomous puppet, possibly given India and maybe Australasia. Scandinavia annexed, maybe SS province, mostly German territory. Finland, not sure yet, must look into it more. 2. Asia. A. Arabs, given their own union, as well as Persians and Turkey. If Italy wasn't incompetent, coast of Syria, Palestine, Israel would be theirs. Mostly vassals of the Reich. B. Japan. Asia would be divided between Germany and Japan. On the line of one river in Siberia. The line stops at India. There would be war with Japan. Hitler said it would happen. So west from India Reich. East from India Japan. C. India. British or Japanese. Hitler wanted nothing with them. He said he might give them to British. Otherwise he didn't care. 3. Africa. North Italian colony. Middle German colony. South semi-independent. Mostly local whites. 4. America. A. USA. There would be war with USA. Hitler wanted one, but only with the aid of the British. Then Germanist and turned into proper colony. B. Canada. Not even Hitler knew. He called it land of no one. Had no plans. So we can guess give it to Britain. Maybe give them to Reich. Though even he wasn't sure what to do next. C. From Mexico to La Plata. Abso-fucking-lutely nothing. Maybe try to make them economical vassals. But not even Himmler cared that much. That's basic IL for the plans. If you have any questions, please ask away. Ha 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 ha. Your agent thanks you for making his job easier. Huh. It's interesting how he planned to give Britain, a country he was currently at war with, land and autonomy in his new regime. Quite generous, considering what we, along with the rest of Europe, did to them after WW1. There would be no Jews or people of color. They would be slaves. It feels weird upvoting that. A German-controlled Europe and Russia. Assuming he was fully untapped. I'd assume at some point the US would slip back to the mainland in some sort of North American alliance with Canada and Mexico. The battle for Central American and South American countries to add to offshore allies for both sides would be on. Japan might control Asia. If Japan were defeated, America could have potentially colonized the area with the Philippines and Japan being colonies. I think the war would have naturally gone cold but tense. The space race happens. But that would be a race the Germans win considering von Braun's influence. Vielleicht wurde nie aufgehalten. Vittoria. Italian would also be predominant because of their position in the Axis. We can only speculate. Certainly the world map and distributions of economic and political power would be different. I believe the actual development of the global economy in terms of key economic and technological advancements would have followed roughly the same path, give or take a few decades. Something would have stopped him this year, even if he had won the war. Internal political struggles, lack of resources, and a collapse of the German economy or something similar following a period of expansion would have weakened the Nazi state until the leadership changed. Aryans everywhere. Well, I don't think Reddit would even exist. Gellison. He had a more or less secret ally somewhere in Arabia. A Grand Mufti. I don't know how it is spelled correctly, but it was a Muslim high-ranked, whom asked him to help get rid of Jews and Brits in Palestine. Hitler did not officially agree, but said that he would send help when the war is won. So that could have happened if Hitler had won. That was during the British era in some Arabian states during the conflict with Israel.
That's it!